everyone, welcome to Beauty in the Garden. I'm T. So today I'm going to be planting up my onions. Now I do have a video that's already out there on how to go ahead and plant your onions. Now I am going to be planting the onions from plants again. So I do have some growing, you guys, inside of my grow tent. They are absolutely doing very well. They're starting to spring up. They're probably maybe 2 to 3 inches long. But right now we are going to go ahead and plant up our plants. Now I did purchase my plants from a big box store, and this is what they look like. And I already have them in a little bucket. Now I did overnight them and put a little bit of water at the base of the bucket and to get that root system nice and nourished. So right here in this area, I'm going to be planting up those onions. Now, if you can see here, we got part shade, part sun. So I am only going to plant them in the sun. That's going to help that leaf grow. Now, in this shaded area, I'm most likely going to find some type of brassica or something like that that does not mind that shade over there in the corner. In that shaded area, just right there, I'm most likely going to put some type of kale or Swiss chard plant. Now, Swiss chard can deal with very bright sun, and it can deal with shade. So I'm okay with planting something in that area that can tolerate that shaded area. So let's go ahead and talk about the onions that we are planting today. There are 2 varieties that I am going to be planting today, and one is the Texas Sweet and the other one is the Georgia Sweet. Now the products that I am going to be using to go ahead and get these babies ready for the soil, I am going to be trying out here the Expert Gardeners Organic brand. I'm going to be using this to go ahead and plant up my onions to go ahead and get that leaf growth and kind of balance out my soil. Now this one here is a 356 NP and K, so it has a great deal of nitrogen, I think, just to go ahead and get that leaf going. 3 is not that bad, so we're not just going to boost our onions like that. So we do want that leaf growth because the leaf growth does determine how big our bulb's going to get. So I was going to use blood meal, but I've changed my mind. I want to go ahead and try this brand out and see what the different outcome will be. Now in the other spots, I might go ahead and try just the blood meal and the bone meal and see what the difference might be. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm just going to actually take maybe 3 handfuls over this sunny area here to broadcast it over top of the soil, and I'm just going to go ahead and work that into the soil. Okay, just like this. I'm going to just work it in. My soil is very loose, very loose. I don't know, it's not really ever compacted, so I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. Go ahead and work that in there. Okay, so as we already have put that in our soil, now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and read some of the instructions that Bonnie plant has gave us. Okay, so right here is basically saying how to plant your onions. It says plant your onions 1 inch deep, and that's what normally I would plant my onions. It says space 4 inches apart. I normally do 3 to 4 inches, and it says in 12-inch rows. It says avoid planting too deep. Yes, avoid planting too deep, because what happens is that the bulb needs room to still try to swell, because even once it starts to grow, you will have to move the soil away from it. So it's saying here, fertilize and water bulbs, loosen as plant bulbs swell, loosen soil around the bulbs. Okay, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So right here I have my little shovel, and it has our little measurements, and I'm going to go ahead and make a trough here. About 1 inch deep. And I'm going to do another one right very close to the front of my garden box. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and add the Job's Organic bone meal. Now this is going to help that bulb because this is calcium, and it is a 214-0, and this is what I'm going to be using today. This is the P So you got N, P, and K. This is the P. So this is what we're going to be using today. So I'm going to go ahead and toss, like I said, a handful. Well, I got my cup in here, but I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that right in that trough. Just like this. And I'm going to do it again on this trough. Okay? Then I'm going to go ahead, you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and work it in. Just going to work that in that trough. So right here is the Georgia sweet onions here. And do you see it already started to produce some new roots here? And what I'm going to go ahead and do is clean up my plants. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this brown dead leaves, this dead foliage off of my plant start. I know you guys, it's going to take a little while, but take your time and take it apart. I'm going to go ahead and nip it like this. The root's not too long, so I don't have to trim it off. But if it's really long and spindly, go ahead and cut it some off. And we're going to place them in. Take your time and do this. Clean up your plant. Do you see all that brown dead foliage? I'm going to go ahead and remove it. We don't want anything restricting our onions. And that's, see, all that dead foliage is going way up. That's restricting the plant. And we're going to remove it. Now here is the Texas sweet. Here is a Texas sweet white onion. So now we have our onions laid out, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and put the soil around them, just like this. Just stand them right up, collapse the soil around the footing of your onions. I just wanted to make sure that I had them properly placed. And that's what I'm going to do. Give them a slight push, making sure that they'll stand straight up. Okay. Now that I have them all stand up, I'm going to go ahead and water these guys in. I am going to go ahead and get some rainwater, and I am going to go ahead and use my fish emulsion. So now I am going to go ahead and use my fish fertilizer. This is the 5-in-1, and I'm going to go ahead and put in 4 teaspoons because I don't have my tablespoon with me. I need to go ahead and purchase just some random ones from the Dollar Tree or even Walmart. I think has it for like 98 cents for the cup and the teaspoons and tablespoons. So I'm going to go ahead and use 4 teaspoons into my 2-gallon water pitcher that's right here. Now I do recommend that you stir this with a stick. Do not get this on you if you can avoid it. It has a very serious smell to it, okay? So I am going to go ahead and stir it in. And I went off camera and I went ahead and cleaned up my onions, which you see how beautiful they look now. And because they were restricted. They were very dried up. The skin on it was so dried up, it was so tight that the onions were just going straight up, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and water these in. All right, so we have watered them in and they're gonna do absolutely amazing. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I do upload a video. And remember, there's beauty in everyone's garden. And bye-bye for now.